So this is lesson 7-6, and we're going to look at the best way to factor when A, our leading coefficient in the polynomial, in the quadratic function, is greater than 1. So when A is greater than 1, we're going to see what different methods that we can use. Now, I have explored several different methods, and I'm trying to find the best one that is going to alleviate extra steps and extra process and thinking. And I think I finally figured out what's going to be best for us. So if we look here, we may think, okay, let's factor the greatest common factor. Okay, so if we try that, watch me work this out for a second. We try that, our greatest common factor is 2. Well, we're still left with an A value greater than 1. And so we cannot just rewrite this as, x here and x here. We need a coefficient that's going to be 3. And so then the question is, well, does that end up going here? Does it go here? Does it matter? Then how do I get the rest of these now that I'm multiplying everything times a 3x? So this is why we don't want to do that. Now, if we can factor out a greatest common factor and we are left with a value that is 1, then we can just work the way we were doing with regular trinomials where a equals 1 and write this as 2 binomials. But that's not the case here, so we need to do something different. So this is where the magic x comes in. So we put an x here. What we're going to do is we're going to take our a value and multiply it times the c in the polynomial. So 6 times negative 2 is negative 12. That goes in the top of the x. In the bottom of the x, we just put our b value, which is 4. Now, we're thinking, what two numbers are going to multiply, add, hold on, are going to add to get b and multiply to get c? Well, we need the two numbers to equal negative 12. Well, we can't use 3 and 4 because that's not going to give us a product or a sum of 4. But we can use 6 and negative 2. 6 minus 2 is 4, and 6 times negative 2 is negative 12. Now we're going to rewrite what we have here, okay? So we know now that we need, let's not start there. We rewrite this, 6x squared, plus, instead of writing 4, we use 6x and minus 2x. This is still equivalent to 4x, which was the top, right? And then minus 2. Now we're going to use our knowledge of factoring by grouping, where we had 4 terms and we split them into 2 different pull the GCF and have your binomial left scenarios. So we look here, we can factor out 6x. We need x plus 1 to get 6x squared plus 6x. Over here, we can factor out a negative 2. We need x plus 1 to get negative 2x minus 2. These are the same, so we can factor those out, just like we learned in factor by grouping. So we can have x plus 1 times what's left, 6x minus 2. So in this case, we could not just factor out the greatest common factor. We were still left with an a value greater than 1. So we used the magic X. We did a times c for our top value. We rewrote b and our bottom value. And then we figured out which two numbers we would need to give the product -12 and the sum of 4. Once we had that, we rewrote our original to show that 4x is the same as 6x minus 2x. And then we did factor by grouping right here, factor by grouping, to write our final factored form, which is written as a product of two binomials.